Good day to you wherever you are listening in from, and welcome back to Gold Rush Crypto Daily. I hope you're all having a great day, a calm day, a focused day, because the crypto market is waking up again, and today, oh man, today we have something special to talk about. We're talking Zbcn, we're talking ISO 20022, we're talking institutional grade flow, real-world payroll volume, token burns, whale movements, all of it happening at the same exact time, and it feels like we're watching the early stages of something that could be absolutely massive for Zebec Network and the entire PayFi sector. The timing, the positioning, the partnerships, the compliance milestones, it's all hitting at once. This is one of those moments where you look around at the signals and you just know something bigger is forming behind the scenes. So smash that like button if you're feeling bullish already, subscribe if you're new, and stay with me, because we're going to break all of this down in a calm, real, human way. Alright, so first off, Zebec Network just dropped a major update about their ISO 20022 implementation, and honestly, this is one of the most strategically timed announcements we've seen from them in years. This matters. This isn't some small update or marketing fluff, it's the backbone of global payments, and Zebec is positioning themselves right at the intersection of it all. They're basically saying, hey, we've spent years aligning our real-time streaming payment rails with global banking standards, and now, on the exact coexistence deadline for ISO 20022, we're ready. Think about that for a second. ISO 20022 is the standard. It's the language SWIFT uses, it's what central banks use, it's what FedNow is structured on, it's the data format that over 80% of all high-value payments are expected to run on by 2027. So, what does it mean when a crypto-native, real-time streaming payments network says, yep, we're compliant too, plug us in? It means legitimacy, it means interoperability, it means the banking world doesn't have to jump through hoops to touch Zebec rails. It means institutions can finally start testing, integrating, and eventually routing actual flows through this system. And here's where I got chills reading it. Zebec isn't doing this after the fact, they're doing it as the standard locks in globally. That's rare timing, that's strategic timing, that's years of planning lining up with global policy cycles. This is what large-scale adoption looks like. It looks boring on the surface, but underneath, it's the foundation of real money movement. I think this is the piece people underestimate the most. Everyone wants price action, everyone wants explosions, but, the real explosions come from compliance compatibility, especially when you're talking payroll, cross-border settlement, enterprise flows. This is how networks move from niche to necessary. We saw the same pattern in 2017 with early ISO chatter, and again in 2020 when real-time payment systems got their first big upgrades. Every cycle starts behind the scenes with standards first, liquidity second, price moves last. The setup couldn't look better. Speaking of setups, let's get into one of the most bullish mechanisms in the Zbcn ecosystem, and that's where this next tweet comes in. So Crypto Lord posted something that caught a lot of people's attention. And honestly, it should, because he's pointing out a structural piece of Zbcn that could end up being huge. Every single transaction on NatPay's real-time payroll integration burns one Zbcn token. Now that sounds simple, right? But once you start thinking through the actual volume of payroll transactions in a global system, that's when things get interesting. We're talking about a major US payroll processor, the only FedNow participating payroll processor, connecting Zebec's rails to ACH and SWIFT. And when this thing is fully live across every accounting system NatPay touches, every paycheck, every EBITDA, every microtransaction, every business payout, every automated flow, all of it burns Zbcn. That's not a tiny deflationary schedule, that's live fire supply pressure tied directly to real-world business activity. Crypto Lord says it perfectly. How many transactions are happening every day, every hour, every minute, every second? Once this scales, it's not even measurable in traditional crypto terms. This isn't meme token burning, this is enterprise-grade, real-world burning. And he also makes a great point about wallet connections. Once companies start integrating, you're going to see more connected wallets than the community expects, some voluntary, some by default, through automated systems. Look, there are people who say this model could make fees volatile, and I get that. Businesses want stable costs. That's fair criticism, but when you zoom out, here's the bigger picture. We are entering an era where utility-based burn mechanisms tied to real-world financial throughput will outperform inflationary governance tokens every single time. It's the same reason ETH burn works. It's the same reason BNB burn works. Now imagine that logic applied to payroll, the largest recurring financial activity in the world. This is not financial advice, but man, something big is forming here. Everything's pointing to something big. And speaking of big, let's talk price action, because this next tweet shows the market is already reacting. So Milo XRP pointed out that Zbcn was up 21% in 24 hours, and the big question he asks is this just a normal Zbcn run, or is this NatPay integration lighting the fuse? Now, a 21% move is nothing crazy in small cap crypto, but the timing is what's interesting. NatPay integration announced 2 days ago, ISO 20022 compliance update hitting today, community awareness finally spreading, and suddenly Zbcn goes green while the rest of the market chops sideways. That's not random, that's alignment, that's cause and effect. Milo brings up a big point. The XRP community is watching because this is the same space they care about. Payments, compliance, financial plumbing, real-world rails. Zebec moving into this lane with actual products and actual compliance has people paying attention. And honestly, the chart doesn't lie. When a token breaks out on fundamental news instead of speculation, that's where real trend reversals start forming. To me, this feels like phase 1 of a broader awareness cycle. We saw these same early breakouts in other tokens, right before mainstream crypto Twitter caught on to the narrative. It always starts with a few sharp runs, then influencers notice, then traders notice, then the liquidity arrives. We're not there yet, but the spark is there, and if this run is tied to NatPay, then this isn't a one-day move. This could be a narrative cycle. The storm is building. And that brings us to something that really surprised me, because it shows whales are positioned way ahead of the crowd. Zbcn Man posted a screenshot showing recent transfers, including a massive $278,000 move from a Crypto.com wallet. When retail panics, whales accumulate. That's exactly what this tweet is showing. High-value transfers during volatility means someone is preparing for something bigger, someone is positioning long-term, someone is comfortable with exposure even while retail hesitates. He also points out something important. They're talking about ISO compliance at the same time these whale moves are happening. That's not an accident. Whales are information-driven. Whales move early. Whales move silently during chaos, and this screenshot proves it. Combine whale accumulation plus a 35% price surge to 0.3 of a cent, plus a market cap around $246 million, and you start seeing serious early-stage positioning. I love seeing this type of activity because it mirrors previous cycles. Back in 2020, whales loaded up on DeFi tokens months before the public even caught on, and in 2017, the same thing happened with layer 1s. So, here's how it usually goes. Real use case, then a compliance milestone followed by whale accumulation, public awareness, and finally, price discovery. Right now, Zbcn is sitting right at stage 3. We've waited long enough. It's finally happening. Now let's talk technicals. Because honestly, the chart traders are seeing something really interesting right now. Zero Gravity Network posted some clean technical analysis on the 4-hour chart, saying Zbcn needs a candle close above $0.00380 to confirm a full reversal. Now technicals aren't fundamentals, but when they line up together, that's when things get, spicy. Zbcn ran from about 0.0021 to around 0.0031. Buyers really stepped in under 0.0025. And honestly, people who missed the dip are regretting it right now. There's a sell wall sitting around 0.0032 to 0.0033. All of that is just normal price structuring. It's basically bullish consolidation after a big move, which is what you want to see. But the magic number here is 0.00380. If Zbcn closes a 4-hour candle above that level, you're looking at a potential trend reversal that could carry momentum into December. With a listing on Bitvavo, with major announcements, and with fresh attention, this level kind of becomes a magnet. Charts don't create narratives, they just reflect them. And right now the chart is reflecting excitement, anticipation, and, growing confidence. Personally, I don't trade these levels aggressively, but I do watch them, because a breakout above 0.00380 could shift sentiment across the entire small cap sector. This setup looks clean, it looks patient, it looks ready. This is the calm before the storm. And now for the story hardly anyone noticed, but everyone should. Brandon Patz posted something brand new, something barely anyone has talked about yet. Zbcn has been added to the Bloomberg Galaxy DeFi Index with a target weight of 1.55%. This index tracks some of the most institutional-grade DeFi protocols in the world: Uni, AAVE, top-tier projects, and now, Zbcn. Right there on the list, right in front of the funds, right in front of Bloomberg terminals. This is exposure, this is validation, this is institutional credibility. Most people skip over index inclusions because they don't see immediate price action, but the big money, the real money, pays attention to indexes. Index inclusion means vetted liquidity, custody support, price reliability, compliance alignment, technical stability. It's basically the universe saying, yeah, this project is real. You can consider it, and the fact that the community hasn't even absorbed this yet, that's wild. Because these milestones usually lead major cycles by a few months, this is honestly one of the most bullish announcements for Zbcn so far. Quiet, under the radar, but long-term, massive. Institutional visibility is going to change the entire narrative. The setup couldn't look better. Alright family, this was a big one today. Zbcn is lining up compliance, partnerships, technicals, whale positions, and institutional indexes all at the same time. You don't see this combination often. You don't see this timing often, and when you do, it usually means the market is preparing for something bigger behind the scenes. So, as always, stay patient, stay positive, it's all coming together. I appreciate every single one of you tuning in today. If you found value in this breakdown, smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments. Where do you see Zbcn by the end of the month? And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell because we've got another massive update coming tomorrow. Not financial advice, just one crypto friend talking to another. This is Gold Rush Crypto Daily. Keep your eyes on the charts, your heart in the game, and let's get rich together. I'll see you in the next one.